Om Shanti, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to another Yoga Small Talk. And we continue with 7 minutes Bhagavad Gita a day. And we continue with the teachings on chapter 2 from the Bhagavad Gita. And this is Sankhya Yoga. This is where the teachings of Lord Krishna to Arjuna, the great warrior, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra begin. And Lord Krishna started the teachings with telling Arjuna, you are not this perishable body, you are the immortal soul. So remember who you are, who you really are. And then Lord Krishna taught that because of our identification with the physical body, which is the result of ignorance, we are very susceptible to the pairs of opposite, pleasure and pain, heat and cold, censor and praise, etc. And we just get tossed between them all the time, never finding peace, never finding happiness. But once we handle the identification with the body, which is in Sanskrit called Deha Adhyasa, once we transcend it, we will no longer be so susceptible to those pairs of opposites. We will actually transcend them. Of course, this is a long way and this is the highest knowledge. But on the way, as we practice, remaining calm, keeping our equanimity in the face of the pairs of opposites, we grow tremendously in willpower, and we also grow in knowledge. So we are getting closer to eternal bliss, to lasting happiness. And now Lord Krishna continues with the teaching, and after teaching that we are not this perishable body and the results of the identification with this perishable body, Lord Krishna continues to describing the nature of the self. What is the nature of the self, which is our true essence? So, in other words, what is our true nature? So, verse 16 of chapter 2. The unreal has no being. There is no non-being of the real. The truth about both has been seen by the knowers of the truth or the seers of the essence. So, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, this which is not real, never existed, does not exist, and will not exist. On the other hand, that which is real, always existed, is existing, and will always exist. So there is no non-being of the real. And in other words, as the commentary explains, what is changing must be unreal. What is constant or permanent must be real. And this real is eternal, whereas the unreal never had any existence. And this changeless, homogeneous Atman or self always exists. And this is the only solid reality. On the other hand, the phenomenal world of names and forms is ever changing, and we know it. Nothing around us remains the same even for a second. The world is in constant state of change, and we are constantly in between those changes with the likes and dislikes, which causes us a great deal of suffering. But the Jnana Yoga, the Yoga of wisdom, tells us this phenomenal world is ever changing, hence it is unreal. So we should not be identifying with it, we should look for the true reality, the true nature of ourselves. Verse 17, know that to be indestructible, by which all this is pervaded, none can cause the destruction of that, the imperishable. So the real, as we said, has no non-being, it always is. hence it cannot be destroyed. So in our true nature we are indestructible. 18. These bodies of the embodied self, which is eternal, indestructible, and immeasurable, are said to have an end. Therefore, fight, O Arjuna. So this concludes this little discussion, and of course the topic continues. And the commentary says, Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna the nature of the all-pervading immortal self in a variety of ways, and thus induces him to fight by removing his delusion, grief, and despondency, which are born of ignorance. So, the bodies into which the soul enters and appears to be limited to them because of the cosmic illusion are the things that have a beginning and an end. But in our true essential nature, we are indestructible, we do not have an end. This is the science of the immortal soul. And when we remember it, we know that we need to do our duty. And this Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, remember it started with the statement, thou hast grieved for those that should not be grieved for. Meaning, in essence, all those family, friends, and relatives of yours are immortal. You are just doing your duty in the cosmic order. And you can never really kill their true essential nature. And this is the highest knowledge which is meant to give Arjuna the perspective in which the dharma of fighting as a soldier in a righteous war is applied. And more teachings about this nature of the immortal soul, which is our true essential nature, follow, and we will see more in the next videos. Om Shanti.